Hi everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. I'm Zai, Compliance and Integration Consultant at Meshed Group. And today we are going to present this webinar for Meshed Higher Ed TCSI PIR Reporting 2022. Before we start, let me just add to few more people in our meeting, and then we are all set to go. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's start. So in today's session, we are going to talk about PIR reporting through Meshed TCSI feature. And we are also going to let you know how you're going to use this feature to complete your 2022 reporting. So main topics for today's session, they would be first, I'm going to give you a quick introduction about what is PIR and what is all reporting is about. And then I'm going to tell you about what are the actual two reporting methods that are available and provided by TCSI to complete your PIR reporting this year. Then I'm going to walk you through the steps that you will need to follow to get this feature on your Meshed platform. Then there will be some prerequisite data that you're required to add on your Meshed platform to start doing your PIR reporting. So we'll have a quick look on that as well. After that, I'm going to tell you how you can actually use this Meshed TCSI PIR feature to do your PIR reporting. And at the end, we'll have a quick look for the error resolution step. So then let's begin. So about the introduction, as we all know, PIR, that stands for Provider Information Request, which is a request for information under Section 28 for the TEXA, that stands for Tertiary Education Quality and Standard. Now, from 2022, they have introduced new reporting requirements to do the PIR reporting to streamline this PIR TEXA dataset. This is mainly to improve transparency and efficiency of data. Now, this year, deadline for your PIR reporting is in August. Hence, it's required that all providers need to make sure that they are completing their reporting by this deadline, because otherwise there will be some sort of penalties in which might occur. So now, with all these new requirements, Mesh is all set and ready for the PIR reporting through this TCSI feature. As Mesh was efficiently working with TCSI team, and we have managed to add this PIR feature as well to do the reporting through this TCSI feature. Now, that is all about introduction. So now let's see what are the actual two methods that are available to do your PIR reporting on generic basis. So first method is TCSI data entry. This is basically reports that you have to prepare PIR reports based on the format that is provided by TCSI team. And then once you prepare these reports, in that you must have captured all your PIR data. Once PIR reports are ready, you can upload them on TCSI portal. So TCSI team, they have also provided some sort of guidelines how to do reporting through this TCSI data entry feature on their platform. Now, on Meshed platform, we have successfully completed that PIR feature for the reports. So as soon as you have your data on Meshed platform, which is related to PIR, after that, you can simply use these reports to extract the data. So you don't have to manually prepare data in that report. It's just a click of button and you can generate all the reports the way you want, and then you can just upload it on TCSI portal. So that is all about the first method, which is TCSI data entry. Next is API method, which is Application Programming Interface. In this method, provider, they can actually report their PIR data through the application interface in real time to TCSI. Now, there are two types of APIs here. So one API can be used by fee help approved providers. We can also call them HESA funded. Okay. Now, and the second API is being used by purely PIR reporting providers. So that means providers who are not fee help approved. So we can also call them HESA non-funded. Okay. Now, out of these two APIs, currently TCSI is already in their production environment with the HESA funded APIs. So Meshed has also successfully completed that feature, and all those APIs are available. So all Meshed clients who are fee help approved, they can actually start using these APIs to do their staff data reporting. Because anyways, they have almost completed their student and course data reporting through the fee help. Now, for the providers who are not fee help approved, who are HESA non-funded, for them, APIs are not available yet in TCSI production, and hence we are waiting for TCSI confirmation. So once we receive that confirmation, we can make those APIs available for HESA non-funded providers as well. So for time being, for HESA non-funded, recommended method is TCSI data entry. And yes, before we move to next slide, I just forgot to mention one point. During this session, if you are having any questions related to any sort of explanation or data, please feel free to leave your question in Zoom chat box. And once session is done, we will reach out to you with all your questions with the answers, and as well as recording of this session and the PPT as well. Okay. So let's go to the next one, which is steps to get this Meshed TCSI PIR feature on your platform. Now, why you have to follow these steps? The reason is, if you follow these steps, it will help us to assist the transition completely and as well as correctly. Because there are few steps that are involved before getting this feature enabled on your platform. So the first step is to put a request through this enquiries@meshgroup.com.au that you are interested in this PIR report feature and you would like to have it on your platform. Once we receive this, we'll get to know, okay, now this platform is ready to use this feature. Then we'll analyze your platform and then we'll help you with the next step, which is bulk data update. Now, bulk data update, there are two sort of updates in this. So one is transferring existing PIR data that sits in your Mesh platform from that old PIR database to the new TCSI database. Because new TCSI database is getting used to create all these reports. And the next sort of data update is new PIR data. So as there are new requirements have been introduced, there are also some new fields. So that's why we need to capture that information as well. So for that one, either you'll have to enter that data manually or we can also assist you with that. So entire this bulk data update, if you have small amount of data, you can do it manually by your own as well, adding those fields, because fields have already been added in Mesh platform. But we are also happy to assist you on that because we understand there is lots of data and it's not easy to update one by one. So we are happy to assist you on that one for the bulk data update. So now, once these two steps are done, that is enable feature and as well as bulk data update, you are all ready to use TCSI PIR feature. So this is all about steps that you'll have to follow to get the Mesh TCSI PIR feature on your platform. Now, next is about prerequisite data. So now, before you start doing your PIR reporting, there is some sort of data specific to PIR that needs to be there in your platform. So let's have a look on that one. So when you do your PIR reporting, basically we are sending information about all these packets. So there are total 12 packets here, and we are capturing data in Mesh platform for all these packets, and then we are sending it to TCSI, either through API or through that report feature. So let's see what that data is all about. So first, about course. So whenever you are creating course or as well as your existing course, it is necessary that you mark that course as TCSI Reportable. Let me just keep it here maybe. TCSI Reportable, okay. The reason is once you mark that course as TCSI Reportable, system understand, okay, this course is enabled for the reporting to TCSI. Once that is done, you are also required to add TCSI mapping for that course. So that you can do under the next tab, which is under course, there is one more tab as TCSI mapping, TCSI course mapping. In this tab, you can add mapping for that course. Now, benefit of this feature is if you have multiple courses, but they are sharing same national code, then you can map rest of the courses to the one TCSI reportable course. So in that way, you'll be able to report course enrollments of all the courses within the same national code to TCSI. So that's why we have recently added this feature. Now, after course, there is next part is about course additional information, which is mainly used in course of study as well as course on campus packet. So that data you can find under higher education additional information at course level. So these are all the data that you need to enter. So most of the fee help approved providers, they have already added this data, and as well as our PIR clients who are using our HAME setup initially, they must have also added this data. But for the new courses, yes, you'll have to add that data manually again. Yeah. Now, after course, there is campus details. So for campus details, when you go to Meshed platform under your campus training location, under manage menu, it is required that you should provide at least effective from date for that one record. The reason is if this effective from date is not there, system won't be able to get this data on the reporting page, as well as system won't be able to calculate dates for course on campus record. Because for course on campus records, dates get calculated based on this effective date as well as effective dates of course. So that's the reason you'll have to add this date under venue for each and every record. Now, after that, next is subject discipline code. So this sort of information, it sits at every subject level. Okay. So whenever you create any subject, new subject, and you're going to use that subject for your PIR reporting, it is required that you should provide the discipline code under subject setup. This information is getting used under unit enrollment package. Now, that was all about your course, campus, and subject-related structure. Now, let's see what information is required for the student level, at student level. So at student level, this is the path how you can go to add TCSI or PIR-related student information. So that is from student, student profile, and under student profile, you'll get to see one icon named as TCSI. So under that icon, you're going to add all information. Now here at student level, the information that is required is basic information as well as disability information. So for the basic information such as citizenship details, year of arrival, these are the important data that you need to capture and record it into the system before you start reporting that student to PIR. Now this sort of information we are also capturing in application level under step 3. So if data is provided under that step, automatically system transfer it to the TCSI database here. So you don't have to double enter data. Now about disability information, if disability data is provided under student profile, system automatically captures it and record it under this TCSI disability information page. But as per TCSI and PIR requirements, from date is also required. So you'll have to enter that from date. Otherwise, when you report that data at PIR end, when you report this PIR data to TCSI, at TCSI end, they will use the default dates over there. So it's to have correct data, it's always recommended that you should provide this from date here. Now, next is about student course information. So this is the information about student course enrollment, which is getting sent under course admission package. Okay. So for that, you'll have to follow the same path, that is student profile, and then under student profile, go to TCSI tab, and under TCSI tab, you'll find student course information. Okay. Under this tab, for PIR reporting, these are the two tabs that are important. That is for student course information and additional prior credit. So let's see first about student course information. So this data is basically giving you information all about student course enrollment. So information like course basic information such as basis for admission, and then mode of attendance, attendance type, and then higher degree research information and additional information such as course commencement date. Okay. There is also one more tab called prior credit. Okay. Now, if student is receiving only single prior credit for that course enrollment, it is always recommended that you should record it under course information itself. Okay. But there might be chances that student is receiving more than one prior credit. So, for example, let's see if he is receiving 4 prior credits. So, in that case, first prior credit you are going to record it under course information, and the rest 3 you are going to record them under additional prior credit tab. Okay. Once it is recorded here, you can also straight away report it from this page itself. And if there is any changes, you can also sync those updates back to TCSI portal. Okay. Now, next is student information about their subject enrollment. So that subject enrollment related information you can add under this T-Help information box at subject enrollment level. So these are the boxes which I have highlighted here. These are related to PIR reporting. So if you are using that subject enrollment for the PIR reporting, it is important that you should provide this information. So for example, mode of attendance, student status code, subject tuition fee amount paid, and the census date, EFTSL, subject completion, and work experience in industry. Out of these fields, first 2 fields, mode of attendance and student status code, in system, we are capturing them from the student course information data, because anyway, you're providing that data here. So if you can see this student course information, you're providing that data here, mode of attendance code, and as well as student status code. So if data is provided here, whenever subject enrollments are getting created, we use those values as default values over here. So if you have added data here, that's it. You don't have to add it again and again unless and until you want to change it manually for that one subject enrollment level. Okay. So that was all about subject enrollment related information and as well as your student course data. Now next is all about your staff information. So for staff, normally you have 2 types of staff, casual staff and full-time staff. So that information, you can record it under their PIR tab. And for full-time, there are some additional fields such as work classification. You can see work sector code and staff level code like that. So you'll have to add that data at staff level. For casual staff, fields are limited. They are not much as compared to full-time. So make sure you provide information for all of them. Here, for full-time staff, as per the TCSI reporting requirements, you can add multiple work classifications for single staff. So if there are multiple, you can keep them adding over here by clicking on this new work classification. And whenever you report this data or extract reports, system will capture all data for you. Okay, so that was all about staff information, and that ends our slides for the prerequisite data for the PIR reporting. Okay. Now next is how you're actually going to use this Meshed TCSI PIR feature to do your PIR reporting. So let's see how we can do that. So as I've explained before, there are 2 methods. First is TCSI data entry, which is nothing but manual TCSI data reports. And second is API, where we are reporting through API in real time directly to TCSI portal. So now this first method is available for HESA non-funded for now, as they are for their APIs are not ready yet completely. Okay, so for them they are recommended to use this report feature for now. And for providers who are HESA funded, that means fee help approved provider, they can use APIs directly because their APIs are ready in TCSI production as. So now let's see this first method, how you can generate report from the system. Okay. Okay. Now to generate these reports and complete your reporting through TCSI data entry, there are 2 main steps. First, extract data from Mesh platform, these TCSI reports. To do that, you'll have to go to Reports tab, and under Report tabs, if the feature is enabled on your platform, you'll get to see this new option as TCSI PIR report. You'll have to click that, and then system will take you to this new interface, TCSI PIR reporting. Okay. From this interface, you'll be able to extract data. So Next step would be to extract the data. But before that, let's understand what are these filters are about. So there are different filters. So first is submission type. In submission type, basically you can select what report you would like to extract. So for example, if it is unit enrollment PIR or course of study, course, campus, like that, you can select that report. Then reporting year, you can provide the reporting year and system will capture data only for that reporting year. Or if you would like to provide a specific period, you can also do that by providing that period here. Next is, these are the optional filters: course ID, student ID, and staff ID. These are specifically to filter data specific to that data set. So for example, if you provide course ID before filtering data, system will only capture data only for that course. Similarly for student ID and staff ID as. Okay. Then there are these report controls. So first is view data and export, and second is export. Okay. So this view data, once you provide all filter options, then you can click on view data and system will provide the related data items for you. So for example, in here, I've added course ID as PIR test 01 and hence system has provided me only that record for the course PIR. Okay. Then next control is export. So export is nothing but here. So you can see two options here. So the reason is TCSI allows you to report data in two different reports. Either report can be XLSX format or report can be in CSV format. So both formats are valid. So you can extract data the way you would like. Okay. Once all this data is there and you extracted the data, next step is to simply upload that report on TCSI portal. So to upload that report and how you're going to do that, you can simply follow this link. TCSI team has provided that link, that how you're going to upload that particular report on their platform. Right now, I cannot show you because we don't have access to any of the test instance where we can actually upload the report. For us, in our testing phase, TCSI team helped us to do that manually. When you're uploading your extracted PIR reports on TCSI, make sure you are following this sequence. For example, you cannot upload campus report unless and until you upload course of study because they are interrelated. So that's why it is necessary that you should maintain this sequence. Okay. Here you can see there are two course admission packets, course admission and second is course admission HDR. So when you're reporting data through these TCSI PIR reports, we have to maintain a separate report for HDR. This HDR report is maintaining data only for those course admissions where HDR information is provided, higher degree research information is provided. And this is the sixth one, course admission. This is basically for all. So you'll end up having same record in two files. So for example, if I am student, I am having this HDR information. You'll get to find my record in course admission as well as course admission HDR. But if I'm not having any HDR related information, in that case, you'll find my record only in this report, but not in this report. So that's the difference. Okay. So this is all about how you can use this report feature to extract and upload report. So let me show you on our platform as well. So let's start from the beginning. So there are two steps as I explained. First, extract data and then second, upload it on TCS. Okay. So to extract data, go to reports and then TCSI PIR reports. Here you'll get to see all these data types, all these filters, right? So let's see, I'm selecting for student, okay? And my student, I've created this test student and I just want to filter it for that particular student, okay? So system will give me that student data. Now here, when you take your mouse pointer in any one of these actions, it will tell you what format is it. So right now, first is MS Excel, which is XLSX, and second is CSV format. Okay, so let's try to extract data in MS Excel format. Okay. So this is how you're going to get the data. Okay. Now we'll talk about how data is getting stored in this report in our next slides. I'll give you a quick walkthrough on that as well. So this is how your reports will look like. Okay. Once you extract report, there is no need you have to change the name of those reports. You can simply upload them on TCSI portal. So let's go back to our PPT. Now, let's understand few basics of these TCSI PIR reports. Okay, so if you want to dig in more about what is this report, what is each element belongs to, you can go to this link where TCSI has provided some detailed information and user guide on these reports. That what is it report about, what each element means, like that information. Okay. From our side, we have also created one mapping document. Okay, so this mapping document will help you to understand in report which field is there and that field is sitting on what location on Meshed platform. So, for example, let's see, let me just pick this over here. So these are all the reports, okay, in this tab file. Okay, and then report column name, these are all the report columns, element names, and this is the element type. We'll see about these element types in our next slide. And then we are providing on Meshed where that particular field is sitting and to which field it is mapped to. So for example, course of study code is nothing but national code under course setup. This information will mainly help you if there are any errors in your reporting or if you would like to, update any data. So you can use this as a guide. So let's go back to our PPT. So that is the mapping document that you can use. Now, next few key pointers about this report is when you try to report same report, when you try to upload same report with the exact same data, as data is exactly same, there won't be any action at TCSI. Okay, but if that data, key information is same, for example, student ID is same, but related to student ID, if you have changed some data, TCSI will consider as an update action. So we'll show you how these identifying, that is primary elements and single value elements work in the next slide. Okay. Now about the name. So there is specific format that you have to maintain for each and every report. In our report feature, we have already take care of that. So you don't really have to, update name for the report. But if you would like to update name, you are feel free to do that. But just make sure you are following that format. So for example, the report name, it can only have alphanumeric, underscore, hyphen, and period characters. Okay. Now, once you extract the report, try not to manually update any data in that report. For example, adding extra tabs in the report, because as per their guidelines, only one sheet is allowed. That is, only one tab is allowed in one report. If you try to upload any report with two tabs, it might end up into error. Okay. These are the report basics. Now about these third point, that while uploading data with exact same fields, let's see here in the next slide. So every report, it carries three elements, three basic elements: identifying elements, single active elements, and extension. Okay. Identifying elements are nothing but primary elements. So for example, student identification number, student ID is now going to be identifying element. Okay. And in our mapping document, we have highlighted them in yellow. So I can show you that if I have that open. Let's quickly grab that report again. You here. So this is actual report. Here you won't see the coloring, okay? But in mapping document, we have highlighted all identifying elements with the yellow color, okay? Now, identifying elements, for example, student identification code is nothing but identifying element, okay? Now, if you want to make any changes in this identifying elements, you cannot do it through report. You'll have to do it from the TCSI portal from the record section. Okay? Meaning, if there is student ID, let's say if one student ID, he gets reported with ID 1234. But after reporting, you realize that, okay, that ID was wrong. You'll have to update his ID from 1234 to 123456. So that sort of data, you can update it on the TCSI portal manually under the record section. But make sure you have also corrected data in Mesh platform as well. So data will remain consistent and you won't have any issues in your future reporting. Okay. So that is all about identifying elements. Next is single active elements. Okay. Now, single active elements, these are basically information about identifying elements. So in our example, when I said that identification number is the identifying element, so the first name and last name of that student, it becomes single active element. Okay. Now you're allowed to update these elements through report. Okay. How you can do that? Just update data in Mesh platform first, extract that report again, and upload it to TCSI again. So for example, my name is Zai, right? And my last name is Rana. So let's say there is something wrong in my last name. It has to be Randive instead of Rana. So what you can do is first update my last name as Randive in Mesh platform, extract that report again, and then upload it again. So when you upload that report in TCSI, as your identifying elements is same, as my student identification number remains same, TCSI portal gets the trigger that, okay, this is all about update. So they update that information in their portal, and this is how you can update the data. Okay. Now, all these single active elements we have highlighted in a pink color in our mapping document. So let's see the mapping document. Let me show you here. Okay, student. So this disability code, disability effective from date, these are these are extensions. Sorry, that was my bad. Okay, sorry, the coloring is wrong in that one. Okay, single active elements we have just highlighted in element type, and extensions they have been highlighted as pink color. Now last is extension. So extensions, these are nothing but additional information. So that means one student can have group of data for that information. So let's say a citizenship. Citizenship is an extension. Okay. Why? Because student can have multiple records for citizenship. Reasonings, let's say, for example, I've started education with one of the providers. When I started, I was on student visa. But after 1 year, I became eligible to get the citizenship, and now I am resident of Australia. So that time I want to update my citizenship record. So in that case, my student life cycle is going to have two citizenship records. First year, it is going to be with the international student, and then second year, it's going to be an Australian citizen. So these are kind of, the data where you can have multiple records for single record. So these are extensions. Okay. Now, this is all about reports, okay, and their key elements, and the steps that you can, use these reports to report your data to TCSI. Now, next method is through API. Now, for API, there are three basic steps. First, just go to Mesh platform, access your TCSI services. So, once you go to that icon, you can just get to see this API page with all filters over there. Filters are, most of the filters, they are pretty much same what we have seen on our report feature as well. There are just 3 additional features on the API. One is the status updated only and migrated only. So most of our free help approved provider, they are aware about these features, but I'll just walk you through quickly because once the APIs are available for non-free help approved provider, they'll also get to see these filters. So first is status. Status is nothing but actual status or the current status of that particular record. So there are 3 values for that: processed, non-processed, and all. So processed means data is already reported to TCSI. Not processes data was never reported to TCSI. And then there is all, which is combination of both of them. And now there is another checkbox on the screen that is going to be updated only here. So what this data will give will help you to get only those records where there are updates that are not yet synced to taxi. That means you have reported that one particular student record, but after reporting that, there are some changes. So for changes such as, let's say you have reported student subject enrollment. Okay. After reporting, student have paid his full fee. So you updated those fee amount in the subject enrollment level. So that's why now there is an update. So now you'll have to sync that update to TCSI as well again. So that's how you can bring all the updated records where updates are not yet synced. Now last is migrated. So migrated, these are the records that we are flagging as migrated, which were part of the TCSI transition. So if you have done any TCSI transition through JSON file, that means you have reported some data to TCSI earlier and then you came to Meshed platform and we migrated that TCSI data on Meshed platform. So that data we are flagging them with migrated flag. So if you just want to see that data, you can also see that data by checking that checkbox. Okay. So for the API, as I said, there are 3 steps. First, go to Meshed platform and access that TCSI reporting page. Once you access that page, you can view data in the next step by using all these filters. Okay. Once you have viewed data and extracted data, then in third step, you can simply start reporting data to TCSI. Now, once you start reporting, in the grid, you'll get to see the leftmost column. They are normally related to the submission type that you have selected. So that means if it is unit enrollment, you'll get to see data such as student, course, and unit subject information. So that's what we can see it over here. Now, under action column, you'll actually get to see the multiple icons. So one here is you can see is delete button, which is red. Blue button is nothing but information that you can capture in real time about what data got actually reported for that particular record. And then there is green icon. So we'll also get to see all these icons and their meaning. Last column is response. Under response, you'll get to see the message once you do the reporting. So that message would be either warning or error message. Now about the icons, the green icon that you can use to report data to taxi. Okay. Red button you can use to delete data. Normally it's not recommended to delete data from taxi once it is reported. But you can do that. You're allowed to do that only for correction. For example, if wrong data got reported. But in case of withdrawals, for example, if any student withdraws from subject, you're not supposed to delete that enrollment. Just keep it as it is, but sync update for that particular subject enrollment, such as updating the outcome from enroll to withdrawn. So that's how TCSI team will get to know, okay, that particular enrollment got withdrawn. Next is blue button. This blue button will help you to capture data from TCSI portal in real time to see what data got reported actually. Last is update icon. So as I have explained before, this you can use to sync updates that have been done at Meshed but not yet synced to TCSI portal. And last is numerical value. This numerical value is nothing but UID. That's what we call. That's the unique ID that we receive from taxi whenever we report any data. So that ID is nothing but identifier for that one particular record at TCSI end. So these are 3 steps to do your PIR reporting through API feature. First to extract data, first to go to Meshed TCSI reporting page, then extract data, and then start reporting data. So we can have a quick look on that one. So let's go from home page. Okay, then this is the first step. Go to taxi reporting page. Now, right now APIs are available for in live platform only for HESA funding. So that's why make sure your submission type is HESA funding, okay, and not the PIR. Once you provide all the filter values, so for now, most of our fee help approved providers, they are aware about course and student data reporting. So we'll take the example of staff packet, staff full time, and then view data. Okay. So now here I have this staff as higher ed teacher who is teacher. Okay. So first make sure your data is correct in platform as well. So let me take you. Okay, this is the higher ed teacher page and this is the information. So now this staff is full-time staff. That's why he's having whole lot of information about staff work classification as well. I can also add multiple classification through this feature, that new work classification. So now as our data is there, so we can go to taxi page and we can try to report that one particular record. Okay. If data is successfully reported, under response column, you'll get message in green. Okay. You can also see the pop-up, what was the message. So now here, if there are yellow message, that means it is warning. But you're allowed to report data with warning. But if you want to correct warning, you can also correct it. Okay. And then about these icons, this is for delete and this is for information. So for example, if I click on this one, this data I'm getting in real time, which is actual data that is currently sitting in TCSI portal. So this is in this way you can actually verify if data is getting reported correctly or not. So that was full-time staff. Now let's have one example for casual staff as well. For casual staff, I have added data for this one staff, which was for Andrew. Let me show you his records. So under staff, and my staff was Andrew. So if you go to his profile page, under PIR tab, I'm adding all that information. So that is my staff identification code 9. And this is the staff related data, okay, for casual staff. If it is successful, as I said, you'll receive message in green. This is nothing but UID, and this is to capture data from TCSI to check what was actually reported. Okay. Now let's go back to our slides. So those are all 3 steps to use API feature, and these are the icons. You can also process data in bulk. To process data in bulk, you get the option to check multiple records at one single time, and then you can just use this process selector. So you don't have to do one by one to report data, and you can just do them in once. Okay, now that was all about how you can use Meshed TCSI feature to do your reporting if you're HESA funded or you're non-HESA funded. Now let's have a quick look for the error resolution. So if you're using that API feature, most of the time if you're receiving error, you get to see that errors through that click for that response message. Okay, if error is in red message, that means that's the error. So to understand that error, most of the time it's pretty straightforward what that error is about. But if you're still having some difficulties understanding that error, that's okay, because most of the time errors, they are referring some unit element numbers. So that's how it becomes difficult to understand what's going on. So you can use this TCSI validation document where they have explained each and every error as well as steps how you can resolve that error. Okay. So maybe let me show you that document as well quickly. So this document, they keep updating this document either monthly or 2 monthly, depends on if there is any update. So last it was updated on 4th May. If I try to download, I'll show you here how it looks. So this is the error document, okay? This is the ITSP code. You can also receive that ITSP code when you receive error message at Mesh platform. The way you can search about the error messages, just try to find the column that says error description, okay? And you can put filter on the error description column. And let me take you back to the PPT. So this is the error message. Copy the error message and filter it by that error message. You'll get to see that particular error message in this document, and then there is also error resolution steps as well as the logic of that error. I mean, why that error is getting generated. Okay? Once you understand error, you might have to update that data back in system. Okay. Now, as there are element numbers, it's difficult to find where that element is sitting. So you can use our mapping document to find where that element is sitting on Mesh platform. Now, for API users, it's going to be pretty straightforward because they are going to receive error for each and every record at that time itself. So they can just straight away go and find out what the resolution is. For users who are non-HISA funded, who are going to use the report feature, for them, once you upload your files on TCSI, you'll receive a response file from TCSI end itself. In that response file, they'll provide you response for each and every record. So those responses are nothing but error messages like this. So you can just then simply use that error message to find what that error is about in this validation document. And then update data in Mesh platform again and extract the report. And then you can try to upload it again. So yes, this is all about our TCSI reporting feature that we have developed recently. Now, as a next step, we are also working on APIs for our non-HESA funded providers. So our testing, it's under testing. Under testing, it's currently successful, but we are just waiting for TCSI team to get that APIs in live in their production environment. Once they are live, we'll also make our APIs live. And that time, I guess we'll have just 30-minute webinar just to introduce that one to our non-HESA funded providers on how to use that one as well. So yes, if you're having any queries, you can just drop us an email on this enquiries@meshgroup.com.au, or you can use the same email address to submit your request to get this PIR feature available on your platform. About your questions, after this session, I'm going to view all of your questions, and we're going to give you response for each of your questions along with this PPT as well as recording. So yes, thank you everyone for joining this today's session. Have a great one.